Something is happening on the planet right now. As of today, I know of about 6 animals that had to be euthanized this week, including me and my cat on Sunday. And while being thrust into this experience, I have had some eye opening awakenings. And the story that I'm about to tell you has got to do with the current energy shifts, it's got to do with the dimensional shifts. There are psychedelics and twists and quantum experiences and turns. So if you can stick with me through the whole story, I've got several messages in here for us. And it starts with me being in the ER with my cat and everything that I've picked up since then. So please stick around, especially if you're a pet parent right now in the spiritual community. This message is for you, or if you have just gone through this experience or your animal is sick, okay? This is Lightworker Radio. I am Candace, and this is the channelings for the chosen, and I've got a big message for us from Mother Nature. This also ties to Pluto and systems, and the systems that we came here to change, break, exchange, and how they are no longer working anywhere, and something has to change, and it's within us to have to change it. Okay, so this story starts off with my cat literally not being able to pee. He had a urinary blockage, male cat, only two. And it was through an infection and a freak accident where he got out, and all of this chaos erupted all at once. And we end up having to drive him to the ER frantically. Okay. I walk into the ER, and the first place that I go to is packed to the brim. All right. And they pretty much look at me and tell me that it's going to be $10,000 and that I have to do this surgery for him. And it's the urethral surgery of the cat. I'm just going to come out and say it. They want to cut off the tip of his penis so that the blocks that he's experiencing, which they say he's going to now experience forever, can just go smoothly. It doesn't solve the problem. It just does this. And it's $10,000. We don't have $10,000. Okay. And so now I'm like, well, do I put the cat down or what do I do? Okay. And she's like, there's another place you can go. It's further away, but at least they're owned by a smaller family and maybe they can help you. So we dash off to this place, and I'm like, just trying to keep this cat alive with what I know how to do until we get there. And we make it there with like 15 minutes to spare. This has all happened in a whirlwind. I couldn't even tell you what day of the week it was, but I can tell you that my kid was in school. It was her last week of school, okay? My daughter. And so she wasn't with us, but we get to this ER and it's packed. Again, it's packed to the brim. And this is when like we take the cat is triage. So the cat goes immediately, and we're sitting here and waiting to hear from the vet. And you look around and it is just disaster everywhere. Everyone is holding an animal, or an animal's in a cage, and they're just sobbing. And you hear, like, the prices coming out of these vets' mouths, and the human having to make this decision to put this animal down, right? And by the time we've left this place, we were there for hours. We meet with the vet, and just the language that was used was like, this cat's going to die. We can cut off his penis. I'm not even joking. I'm not trying to be vulgar, but this is exactly what I dealt with. And their price was $5,000. All right. So for $2,500, I could catheterize him and try my luck at home. For $5,000, I have to have this procedure. Right. And it's going to be somewhere between this price. I don't have that money either. Now, I leave the country in like 7 days, and I don't have this money. And I'm like, we have to put the cat down. Again, my husband is like, no, just give me some time. He makes phone calls. He makes me fake phone calls. We pull this money together. The cat is now in the ER for 5 days. Okay. Within those 5 days, we visit him every day. We drive an hour and some change to visit this animal. And if you have an animal that is in ER, visit them. His mood shifted. I don't know if he would have made it out without these visits. It changed the game on getting him home. And I knew that I wanted him home. If something else had to happen from there, I was hoping to get him home again. Okay. Now, during this time of him being in the ER, so much happens. One, I'm doing all the research that I can, and I'm staying on top of these vets because they just want to push him to surgery and have been trying to. And throughout this experience, by the time he's out of ER 5 days later, I probably would have had a $10,000 bill, but because I was on their necks, it was $2,500 and that was it. They didn't charge me no more money. Okay. On top of that, I'm listening to light workers and individuals in the spiritual community who are pet psychics, pet healers, and all of this. And I'm picking up information from there. But also, on top of that, every single day I visit this vet, it's packed with people's animals dying. Not one, not two, like five, seven, 10. It was a disaster. We end up there with my daughter, and she is just like, what in the hell? She's 10. What is this? And she wants to see the cat. But like, the experience was eye opening. And these systems that we have built to aid humanity no longer do that. And it's not enough humanity involved in any of these processes. And it was a disaster, especially when you realize that most of these animals, it was knowledge about what to eat and their movement and all of the things like that, and money that was making it like the cost of taking care of the animal is so high. The cheapest thing to do is to take them there to get euthanized. That's literally $200. Is the cheapest thing on the menu, and that's for the least amount of service in that department. We are literally taking our vets. The vet has become the place you take your animal to get euthanized. It's no longer a healing facility, but this is what it is. And what's the difference between this and the medical industry? Because most people will have to choose to put their animal down over $10,000. You don't necessarily get that choice with your grandma, right? So it was so open and in my face, these systems that do not work, trying to not heal people. They wanted to cut, if the whole point was, if they cut this part of him off, the crystals that he is naturally passing will just be, they'll be easier for him to come through. No one wants to address the chronic illness that comes from this disorder, right? It's not even discussed. It goes straight to the surgery. And then they sell you a prescription formula to feed your animal. By the way, cats need 70% water in their meals. If it's kibble, it's not going to do it. But they sell you this kibble still with literally potassium citrate and salt in it, a small amount of both. The rest is shit. Excuse my French. The rest is shit. And for $80 a month, and this is what your animal has to stay on for the rest of their life. And they're not offering health advice. They're not offering chronic illness advice. They're not offering stress advice. This is what they got, and this is all they got time for, because they can only see each of us for 10 minutes because there are 500 people in the freaking waiting room. So I'm witnessing all of this, and we all are, my whole family, and we are just trying to spread light in these waiting rooms while we're waiting to visit the cat, and just like talk to people and hear them and be there, because we have to be there because we're waiting for the cat. During this time, I'm heavily in my research, right? And I told you I'm listening to these podcasts, and I came across this woman named Sylvia Sterling. I have the podcast that I listen to here for cat parents. She is a cat psychic. She's had over 1,000 cats, and before that, she was a cat therapist, and she had even more cats under her belt and experience. And she started talking about how cats are connected to the Lyrans, and the archetypes of the cats, and how each cat has like an archetype of what they came here to help you and your family with, right? Now, I don't know if you remember this, but last year and the year before that, everyone was talking about the cat distribution system, and all these people, these cats came to all of us, right? And this was the connection from the Lyrans, which is what she's talking about, and how each archetype of cat has a role to play on this earth with your family and a mission, just like we do. This also applies to dogs, birds, any animal that you have in your life. They are connected to the elements, and they actually serve a purpose on this earth. And I've got more to say about that as I go along, but just hear me out. So I start realizing that I got the archetype of the rebel cat. And I just start thinking about what this cat has done and what he's been like since he's been in my life. And it's only not even been 2 full years, guys, but he has whipped us into shape. Okay. So all of this is coming up for me. Simultaneously, in my mind's eye, in my dreams, I'm starting to see lions. Okay. I see, like, if you've ever tried to tune a television from the old days, and you see the static and then the picture gets clear, it's like I'm seeing static, and then I see a lion and the picture is clear, and then it just goes away. All of this is happening. 5 days pass. We get the cat back from the vet. Like I told you, they couldn't even charge us what they wanted to charge us because I stayed on them. And this is something I highly suggest you do. Be your animal's advocate, be your human's advocate if they are in this situation. Okay. All of them. But we get the animal back. And I have a plan here where he can come home, but just in case, I have euthanasia people coming to the house so that he can pass it home with his family. Okay, because I know he only has a certain window. He has to pee. That's our main goal. We got chakra music playing. We got water running. We got candles lit. The whole family ready in action. Okay, this actually brought my family to a place of peace, guys, for real. But this animal ain't peeing, and it's been 24 hours. Okay, and I'm freaking out. And I'm trying to hold the line and stay positive. I know my practice. I know everything that I'm supposed to be doing, but it's really not easy for me. And then I get this message in the morning to take him to the garden. And this has got to do with places having higher energy. And the garden is something we put a lot of intention into and a lot of beauty into. And it's really fun. And, it's got a lot of art. It's just a very unique place. So I pick him up and I take him out to the garden and I'm just holding him and rocking him. And he starts purring, which was good and odd. And then he tries to get off to go away. And so I grab him up and I bring him in the house. And not even 5 minutes later, he pees like 8 ounces of pee. And everyone takes a collective sigh. Okay, we got more time. At least we don't know what's happened. We think he might be okay, but days go by. He's not doing better. He's peeing and then he's not doing better. And it's up and down and there is no direct answer here. Okay. And I leave the country now. 3, 2, 1. Boom. I'm in Portugal. Let's talk about that. I did not want to leave this country, but the trip was not paid for by me. It was my friend's 40th birthday. I could not miss this party because of my cat. I just knew I had to go. Okay. So I had to go. I'd already had I'd done all this stuff. I had to go. But I'm stressing leaving town with this. I don't know if I'm going to come back to this animal being alive. And my family's going to have to deal with it without me. Right. So I get to the trip and I've already have a plan to do LSD while I'm on the trip. I told you there's psychedelics involved. So I do them. And boy, do I do them. So I'm at this party and we are in an area near the coast, in farmland. We're not in Lisbon. We're out, okay, in Comporta. And we're at a cute little compound and there's houses everywhere, but it's a lot of nature. And because it's the farm area, when the lights go out, it's dark. You can see the stars. It's beautiful out here, okay? It's gorgeous in Portugal, by the way. So I am at this party and I can dip out. No one's going to look for me. They know what I'm doing, right? So I'm at this party and there are lights stationed around the backyard that are pointing up, spotlights. But it's so dark outside that if you walk 20 feet, it's pitch black. It's real dark, okay? So that's my plan. I'm going out into as close to nature as I can get under this experience. And so I take my steps out and I look up and the entire sky morphs into Mother Nature. I know it's her. I feel connected to everything. And the earth is like a giant fishbowl. I can't put it any other way. You can tell that that's water and it's just churning around, churning. Okay. And I'm getting the sense from her that she's not taking any of our mess anymore. This is the energy that I'm getting. And I can feel us trying to give someone else our problems and not take personal responsibility. I can't put it in any other way. So I look down. I've been looking up at the sky this whole time, right? I've not looked at the nature yet. I look down at nature and bam, it's 200 individuals are standing in front of me. All of it came alive. It was just like somebody turned the light on and I recognized that every single plant, bush, grass, patch, space between the grass, space between the trees, all alive, all of it, all of it, all of it, every single thing. And it was like they were all standing there saying, we're alive. Okay. It's like I'm seeing through too, though. And I just know there is literally a Bigfoot there. I know that sounds crazy. And it's not big. It's small in the distance, but I just feel the presence of all of it. And I step back whoa, okay, hold up, y'all. Hold up. All right. This is a lot. They start talking and I'm telling you, I could have gone over to a tree and be like, my name is Candace. And the tree would have been like, my name is Jack or Bob or Sam or Tree. I don't know. That's how alive this consciousness was. You hear in science, oh, everything's alive. Oh, no, they are trying to tell you that everything is alive in a way that a pet might be alive. And I'm telling you, even the pets have a consciousness like you and I. It's so much more alive than that. Okay. I saw eyes everywhere. I was connected to each and every one of them. They were there, they were watching, and they said that we are tired of being ignored. Imagine being that alive and individuals just walking past you or mowing you down or chopping you down or burning you down and not knowing you're alive. Like, it's insane. It's insane. So all of this stuff is talking collectively with Mother Nature. And she's saying, your demons, our collective demons, and I'm going to talk about that, are no longer going to be held by me. You have to take them back. They have become wildly, and I'm not responsible for them. It's your time to handle them. And by this time, I knew exactly what she was talking about, and I have to explain it to you. So let's talk about our demons, okay? So we think of negative energy coming from something like a Satan, where these things exist outside of us. When in reality, our biggest problems here and the things that haunt us the most are the things that our minds have created and we have suppressed out of shame, out of fear, out of false beliefs, out of real beliefs, out of all of these things. Okay. So I'm going to give you the example of anger. Each of us have a capacity to be angry that is possibly criminal. Okay, let's say that we have this ability to be a killer or a saint. Each of us have that stretch and that range of experience that we can partake in. Okay, the parts of you that can be that deranged, I'm going to say, they still serve a purpose in your overall reality. And let me explain further. If you look around nature, it has the ability to be vicious in the right moment. If you are trying to protect your home or your family, if you are a mother and someone tries to take your kids, the claws are going to come out and you can rip somebody's jugular out, right? Like, you have this capacity for anger. The ability to have the emotion automatically lets you know that it cannot necessarily be wrong for that emotion to exist. It's not the emotion that's wrong. It's the perception that that emotion is wrong that makes us suppress our demons and cast them aside. Okay. For some of us, they come out when we're drinking. For some of us, they come out when we explode and we can't take it anymore and we can no longer suppress. When in reality, we have pushed them down, literally, I think, to the second dimension, down. Okay. They are not allowed to exist in form, but just in idea. And she doesn't want to hold them anymore because they don't belong there. They belong with you. And when what you are supposed to be doing when we do shadow work is saying this anger needs to be used for the right reasons. I turn it towards love. This does not mean that it does not exist as it is. It fights systems that are suppressed, for instance. Okay. You use and channel that rage towards something positive. You cannot keep pushing it down. You have to use what is in you. You have to allow all of yourself to be as you are, all of it, and find ways to use these things that you deem wrong in the right way. Imagine all of your thoughts are things, okay? And the fears have to come out just as much as the manifestations for the money and the love and the things that we want. The projections of the fears also get created. They go somewhere. All energy exists. They have to go somewhere. They don't just dissipate. You put so much into them. They have to go somewhere and they exist here, messing up and chaotifying our lives because you said you're naughty, go in the corner, and they're saying, wait a minute, hold up. I'm a part of you, right? I want you to think of it like being a literal extension of your being that has determined that it has to act out unless it is accepted. And that is what we're dealing with. And a rebel cat teaches you that I get to be myself and still be unconditionally loved. You cannot put a limitation on me through your judgment. I get to be myself and I am still unconditional love because that is my resonance completely. Okay. And the learning and the acceptance is what is absolutely necessary for us to get to the next level. That was the message that I got. It was quite clear. There was nothing that needs to be misconstrued. I stepped back and it was like I came into another reality. I had recognized that I was gone. Okay. I came back and I was like, whoa. All right. I complete my trip. This area is heavy in ley lines. If you watch my ley line video, I've grabbed stones and rocks and things, and they've come home with me to utilize to raise energy. All of my work in Portugal was done. Now, as I'm gone, I'm talking to my husband, and every other day is like, we might have to put the cat down. We might have to put the cat down. So I'm coming back to the country to then having to deal with the cat again. Now, I get back here, and automatically, I think just having me around definitely soothed him. And we got a couple of days that are really good. All right. So the next thing, he takes a turn. We know he takes a turn. And again, we got to put the cat down today. I think it happened like 5 times. This has been 60 days, guys. Okay. So that morning, that's what he said. And I said, give me until the afternoon, just because I've been out of the country. Let me just have him for like the day. He's not, if he was suffering, I wouldn't do this, but he's like, sleeping. Let me just be with him for the day. And then if this is what's necessary, I'm going to surrender this process. But you know what? I haven't asked for a true miracle. I've been trying to heal this cat on my own. I've been playing the music. I've been doing the sound bowls. I've been doing the Reiki healing. I've been soothing him, but I have not been able to heal him. That's not what I can do, right? I'm a Course in Miracles student. I ask the Holy Spirit to heal. It comes through me. I haven't really left space for that. I just came to this realization. And because of the fear of losing this animal, my mind was in the no zone and not listening zone, I have to admit. Okay. So he says, okay. He and my daughter go out for the day to do, like, we both work from home. She's out of school now. They go out for the day. I go out just to get my mind right and just meditate. And before I tell you that, I've been back from Portugal a couple of days, right? Every time I'm in this garden, I'm like working on a little section. I'm removing vine weeds. I see eyes and I jump back and I'm like, oh, I forgot you were alive. Y'all are alive. Oh, wait, hey, what's up? Okay, it's been like that. So I'm outside and I'm just connecting to everything. And then I get the very clear message from the plant next to me. You haven't asked the cat what he wanted. And I was like, I just came back. I just had this talk with Mother Nature. She told me this stuff was alive. I'm not really, I know it, but I'm not thinking that the animal is like this conscious and that the vegetable plant is that this conscious and that all of it is, it just hasn't fully I haven't grasped it all yet. And I'm like, oh, snap. So I go get the cat and, we're sitting outside and I like to like hold him while he watches the birds. And I just start talking to him out loud. And I'm apologizing for ignoring and not asking him and doing all this stuff without asking him if he wants to live. And I start talking to him about finding out he's a rebel cat. And I thank him for his service. I'm crying and it's really emotional. And I hear the cat tell me to release my fears from him. I hadn't thought of that either. And so that's the cat said to me, let me finish. The animals and the plants on this planet are connected. We don't have a problem. You do, and you are putting us in that reality. You are pushing these problems onto us. And this is something that Sylvia said, this cat psychic. She said, like, when your cat gets sick, it's to activate your healing, for instance. Or like there are messages here. And these karmic ties and fears and worries, we place them on these animals. We've seen them and treated them as they are fragile. All right. So how many times, if you have an animal, something happen to the animal and the first thought is like, oh my God, this animal's going to die. Right. Like we don't see the strength in them and we don't honor that portion of them that wants to live in that way. I can't put it in any other way. It's like we treat our animals like, think about how we go to the vet, like the minor thing, we are freaking out, right? And that's going on to them. They're taking all of our stress and that stress, and it's compounded, okay? Our chickens are coming home to roost in that way. That's where I'm going with this. So on this podcast that I'm listening to, the guest asked her, have you noticed that the animals are leaving fast? And she said, yes. And I said, oh shit, somebody else sees this. And she says that some of them, because of the shift, they're getting new roles. They have completed their missions and their bodies are no longer big enough for this energy that they contain. They are huge, right? And she also said, tied to the elements, like if you have a dog, it's a very masculine creature. It's tied to the masculine energy. It's tied to earth. It's tied to earth energy, while a duck is tied to water and air, and a cat is close to spirit and feminine, and they have all of these roles. They are here on a mission too. And we've completely dismissed that and thought that they were just here for our entertainment. We ignore all of it. All right. And she's talking about how these initiations happen when our animals die, and like how all of this is happening. And like I'm starting to pick up information for this. So if you have birds, you might be connected to avians. If you have dogs, you might be connected to Sirius. And if you have cats, you might be connected to the Lyrans. And technically, I think we're all connected to all of it. I know that I am connected to the Lyrans. And she talked heavily about this. And I've seen when I first had a spiritual awakening, a Lyran came to me with locks, which is even why I have locks. I was like, that hairstyle looks dope. And I saw them many times, and then I didn't see them for a long time, 4 years, and they're coming back. What do I mean when I say that? So the animal tells me as I'm holding him to take Onyx, take your fears off of me. I hold him and I say, I release my fears from this animal, and his whole back lights up like a Christmas tree. Like it is bright white light. I see Jesus to my right. I got two guides at my back. I've got a lion's head right here with my eyes closed. I've got a man with a staff, giant man with a staff, like a hermeticist, just like a hermeticism is I can't think of anything but the hermit in the tarot. And then I've got like another form there. And this cat is glowing in my arms. And then he said, now let me go. And I said, what? And he said, let me go. And he kicks and he runs out into the field, like to nature. I am on my knees, I crying. There's this capacity of love that I feel. And I hear, you are in 5D, you are in 5D, hold the line. Hold the line, you are in 5D. I open my eyes. The entire sky, there's a lion's head there, a giant lion's head. And it's like green and purples, and it's like lines morphing. And this is just the morning. I ain't done nothing, okay? I've had some coffee and some water. Hold the line, you are in 5D. And I'm getting this idea that we shoot up to 5D when it was a magnitude of love that I could not hold for the whole time. I was holding it for the moment. And they said, when you hold these high energy loves, you're crystallizing into this and you're going to come back down, but you got to hold it for now. I'm holding this amount of love. Hold the line and believe. Hold the line and believe. You're in 5D, you're in 5D. The sky is awake. The ground has eyes. Everything around me is alive. And I feel connected to all of it. With my eyes open, I see the man with the staff to my right. I see the form. I see the lion. I am just in shock. And then I start talking to I get the dogs out. I start talking to them. I'm taking notes. They've been with me for many lifetimes, both of them. My big dog is the healer. My small dog is protection. She's always with me. I don't use her enough for animal communications. I speak communicating with animals and use her as a beacon. The cat was a satellite to the Lyrans. The dog is taking in and filtering everyone's energy. That's why he sleeps all the time. I'm getting all this information. All right. Then hours go by. Okay. So wait, before the hours go by, I'm looking up at the sky and I'm seeing all these forms. And then it all turns into like a fishbowl shape again. And I think there's the Buddha right here, but there are beings all around, okay? And I recognize we're being watched by people looking like individual souls or something looking in down on us, watching all of this play out. I don't know if they all on the good team or the bad team, but I got a feeling that there were people hedging bets on both sides, okay? I'm like, whoa. The lion's head comes back. I don't know what this means yet, and I'm just telling you what happened. And he says, you are from the tribe of Judah. And then I see a portal to my left, and it's like a black dot in the sky, right? And I look at that, and then it moves, bops me on my forehead at my third eye, and it's like wah, wah, wah. And this is what I'm doing for like, I don't know, it was 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't know how long it's been. But then, my husband pulls up with my kid, and that cat's not back yet. And I let him go because they told me to, and he told me to. But I can't explain that to them. They're not gonna want to hear that Jesus told me to let my cat go, right? Like, I completely come back to reality, I will say. I'm freaking out by this point. And I'm like, you won't believe what just happened. Yada, yada, yada. He's like, you let the cat go? Yeah, I let the cat go. He just out there. He just out there. And now I'm grappling with, what did I see and what did I do? And am I crazy? And what have I done? Okay. And I was like that all day. That cat did not come back until 12:45 a.m. But he had peed. Okay. We could, the sigh of relief, the feeling of was intense. And that was when I think he was like, okay, I kind of believe what you're telling me here. You're not as crazy. I was so happy that cat came back. I did not know if that cat was coming back, y'all. Okay. So that night, the cat comes home. I can finally sleep. I pass out practically. I'm so tired. Just all the emotions. And I have a dream immediately of him peeing out all this clear liquid, right? And so I'm waking up thinking the cat is healed. Okay. I've completely ignored them saying, let me go. I thought it was let him go. I did let him go. He back. 7 days later, like a fighter, like a champ, he was doing good for a couple of days. But that Sunday, we knew it was time. And it was like he told us it was time. And we got him to the hospital, and I held him in my arms and I listened to his heartbeat go. And it was so sad to watch this such a live animal have to go through this scenario. We're at a completely new vet's office, and it's the same situation. But now it's just as many dogs as cats. And throughout this experience, I've been seeing people, and this person put their cat down. This person put their dog down. This person put their dog down. After the experience, I ran into someone. I just put my cat down yesterday. And I'm telling you, there are many things occurring at once, but they are leaving in a mass exodus. And I don't know when it's going to end. And it's terrifying. And also, just like, this is the systems that we've created. They aren't equipped to deal with what we're dealing with. The lady who was just the receptionist, like going around making sure the animals were in the right place and moving people about, looks up and is like, I don't know why it's so busy. Maybe because it's Sunday in the summer, but I've called all the emergency rooms to see if I can send you somewhere else. Everybody who's here, it's an 8-hour wait, and they're all like this. And my heart just like sank because of all of this information that, if you have not watched the Dimension video, please watch it. I don't know how we shift. I don't know if they're shifting. I don't know what happens before. I don't know what's happening now. But I'm telling you, that is what I saw. And this is what I've heard. And death, especially the pet death, because it's so traumatic usually, it's not something we deal with humans every day if we're lucky. And because of their innocence, we have this level of love that runs so deep for them that if you've experienced a pet illness or death, you know that hole or that depth in your heart. And when I realized that deepness was my capacity for love, I became overwhelmed with emotion because I did not know I could love that deep. And so if this is what you're going through, please remember that that is a feeling, that deepness, it also expresses out. That's how much love you hold. Okay. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it is never ending. And I want you to remember that. And just, if you don't have animals and you don't get it when people are this connected, I just want you to remember that they've been with us for thousands of years in this transition, potentially trying to get us here. And now that some of us are arriving, their roles are done. And some of us have to learn how to better care for our animals. Nobody should be eating kibble every day. If you look at the list of the food, you will know that it would be like feeding your child cereal every day or McDonald's every day. And this is where we are. We want the convenience of the relationship without the work of what it was required. And I recognize that it's expensive. And I am trying to come up with exactly what I'm going to do to help this situation, because the monthly report is next. And what I have to say here is these are callings for us, these extreme moments of separation is what they feel like, are callings for us on the systems that we are here to collapse. Okay. And I know I have a part to play in this, and I'm still trying to figure out what that role is. But a part of it is the health of our animals and our humans. And how we are treating ourselves is making it so that they can't do anything but this. It's a two problem thing. The collective, we have to take personal responsibility, and the systems have to adjust for humanity collectively. And each of us within each system, the prison system, the school system, the work system, the health system, all of them are requiring dismantling. And it is our jobs to do it by providing the alternative with more love. We have to take our demons, our anger, our feeling of disempowerment, our feeling of the lack of justice, and turn it towards love. And what we will do is create alternative systems to combat them. We don't have to be in the middle fighting. We create the alternatives that lean towards love. And because of the momentum of love and the power of love, naturally, these systems will grow and flourish, removing the other ones without us having to do the work in that direction. Okay, that's not our jobs. Our job is to turn that darkness into light. So I just want to tell you this story. I don't care if you liked it or didn't like it. I just had to get it out. If you did like it, thank you. Subscribe, comment, share it with a pet friend if you know they're going through this. I just know what it feels like from three directions now. One, going out and my animal just not being alive anymore. Shock, terror. Second, soothing one to the passing, what was gentle. This having to make the choice, it sucked. It sucked to have to make this choice for this animal, but it was the most love that I could offer. And I know that feeling now. And it's not easy, guys. I say that with love. I have the July energy report next. Signing out with the Lightworker Radio. This is Candace Johnson, channeling for the channelers. Channels for the channelings, the channeling, the channelers. You know what I'm trying to do here. Thanks.